Hi, Aki. I hope you're well. I hope you're well. Um, I've been meaning to message you for a while, but I don't think... Look, I'm still not that clear in some sense with my intention. I'm much further along in my journey than I was. And I've almost, for a long time, I really wanted to explain to you what really happened underneath I don't know what else to call it except our breakup. But I mean that in the most simple sense of the word. I'm not trying to imply anything. But I keep realizing that there's nothing really to say. There's little things that frustrated me and that even I was angry about. But every time I would go through what I wanted to say to you, it would be too complicated and detailed. And in essence, I think you got it right. But I know at the same time that you're very flexible in your judgments, very confident in your judgments, but also flexible in them. Because none of us really know what's going on, right? And in a sense, I'm moving past you in the sense of you being the only source for wisdom, for human wisdom, in a sense, for me. There was something strange happened, spell you cast on me, where you just became my favorite human being. And the fact that there was a unconscious sexuality, anima projection there, just made it more confusing in a sense. I guess I'm waffling a bit, I guess. And whatever you respond to this is okay. Obviously I'd love a reply, but I'm not going to be upset if you ignore me. Because I'm not really calling for anything from you. I'm not calling for a response here. But I have got a hope of doing some more work with you in the future. And I want to keep up with you if I can. I mean, I don't know what's going on in your life, how much you're carrying, how well you're doing. I'm not demanding anything. In some sense, ever since I met you, you gave me a model for using the other hemisphere. Just to invert my causal, linear, straight line thinking with synchronicity, with parallel, with context and relationship. Something about what I did with you really sunk in. And obviously it was the tantric element. And that was the power, but it's not that it made me kind of crazy, but it helped release, I guess, my craziness so that I could be more authentically my own crazy or something. I don't know. I was really cut at the time when you told me that you couldn't work with me anymore. And maybe I could find another worker, maybe a less of a light worker, I think you were saying. You didn't spell it out that way. And I think I didn't really even realize until I got that response from you how unconsciously I'd been daring you to do that. Anyway, I'm backsliding. I don't want to workshop all that. It's okay. But I sort of want to nod to it because it's the moment where I feel like my relationship to you really started to change. But I'm getting closer to whatever it is that I confuse you with, right? There's a force in reality that we project onto other people, out of ourselves, onto ourselves, whatever. I'm getting closer to the source. And in some sense, I didn't realize I was doing it, but I was replacing you, essentially with a sex worker. But in a sense, it made sense because you were doing sex as life, where they're doing life as sex, I guess. If that makes sense. But it just escalated all the crazy shit. And I am a little bit worried about what I got myself into with the black magic I've been learning to use. Because I'm not free of it. But it is still transforming. It hasn't rested in any result or stage or personality. And my power continues to grow. And I'm doing more good, I think, overall. And I think it's because of this shadow work, because I'm more and more consciously grasping my own will to power. Like, I don't know what to call it. I was going to say evil, but I've said that too much. You've got to keep using different words. It's a will to power. It's a lust for control. That's natural, right? It's natural. You can't transcend the ego completely, I don't think. Anyway, look, I'm rambling because what blew me away and why it was very hard for me to resist the pull of the dark side was that I was very scared to do it. But the first time I submitted to a dark mistress and hypnotized myself for a few hours, and I probably have shared this, but yeah, the next day I was just much, much more powerful. My vision was deeper. My posture was better, and my sense of life force and its direction in other beings was stronger. And in some sense, that's been a great danger, because I am messing with some, well, I don't know what I'm messing with, which is also why I'm talking to you, because I would love any feedback you could give me. I'd love to do a session with you. But the thing is, I would love a lot of things that I'm not ready for, right? Oh Lord, give me salvation, but not yet. I want to have more fun. And I've always been able to work with you to a high degree. I have immense respect for you, but there's some part of me, just like, I remember you said to me when I was starting to do the hypnosis and you were talking about when you did it, and there was a part of you that was like just going, no, bullshit. Like there was a voice inside you that was just going, what a load of crap. And that voice kind of protects you from what's dark in the hypnotist. And I feel that, and that's been a great guide to me. And working with these women that channel sort of dark sexual power, having a deep sense of magic and woman in the deepest sense of the word, like as the transcendent capital W woman, like goddess level, that protects you a lot from the low in the dark sexual hypnosis, because it means your unconscious mind is like not just taking the worst elements. But I don't want to be naive about how in control or how much I understand this. But I just wanted to say that I don't know that I am ready to work with you. You can probably see how crazy I am at some level. Or at least, over-energetic, a little bit manic. But just like with the dark workers, there's a voice that protects me. With you, there's a voice that undermines me. And perhaps the work I was doing with you was to develop the conversation, or my consciousness of these different voices, these different parts of me, and what they are and what they connect to, and just to better integrate them, I guess, just to make them part of myself, so I'm not so asleep at the wheel, because I'm waking up, but I'm still deeply asleep, and I think you're ahead of me, like, I don't want to, glorify you too much. I know I sometimes do. But at the same time, when I criticize you, your defense mechanisms are very strong. If that makes sense. Anyway, God, I'm at 9 minutes. And I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but I've been, thinking of you now and then for a long time. And so, respond to this if you feel it. If you don't, you don't. If I'm feeling more determined, if I'm feeling more ready to let go of some of these attachments, and I'm getting there, I'll just contact you again anyway. Like I really hope you reply, but I'm not I just feel much happier than I used to be. Like, the negative voices it's easier for me to turn the volume down and the volume up on the good voices. And in a way, that's all it is. And maybe I'm bound to be, I'm reaching for too much here. It's something beyond you, but I think it is also something that might be relevant for you. Anyway, I'm not great. I'm realizing that my message is a bit... I can imagine if you were here, there's a few times you would have been like, Thomas, come back, you're not with me. Anyway, God bless you. Mad world, getting mad up. The future is coming.